Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Pagoda is a two-player only board game about building these 3D constructions as you're going up. You'll be putting tiles out based on your hand management and card play that have to be a certain color. And you'll be putting floors on them until you get up to build a roof. The first four are worth 1 point each for each pillar, 2 for the second floor, 3 for the third, fourth, and fourth, and so on to get to the roof, which are worth 5. So as you build up, it will be worth more points, and you'll be setting up your opponent a little bit, and they'll be setting you up a little bit, and you want to kind of minimize that as much as possible. Where the game really shines that when you put a floor down, you get a power of that color, which you can use twice. When to use those powers is very powerful, and really where the game is going to shine in that decision-making scope. So, this is a really fun little two-player game. It's two-player only. It has that little seesaw, tug-of-war, back and forth about what you're doing, and you got to really kind of think about it, and maybe a little bit of analysis paralysis of like, okay, if I do this, what are they going to do? Because you can kind of see they have 5 cards face up, so you can kind of see what's going to be available to them. Plus, they have the 2 cards in their hand, sometimes up to 4, depending on what power that they've been able to utilize. Very fun little two-player, like what I would call a spouse game. Something you play with your spouse at night, sit down and play to burn some time. Not the deepest endeavors and not going to rack your brain too much. What you're doing on each turn is very, very simple, easy to teach, easy to play. It's not going to rack your brain too much, but it's going to give you plenty of decisions inside that scope that are going to determine whether you win or lose. The games are normally close. I haven't seen anybody get blown out on this, as you're constantly just setting somebody else up so they can get points too if they have the right cards, able to manage their hand and utilize their power. So it's been a win for us. Not something that blows my socks off or something that we pull off all the time, but a game we enjoy and one that we'll be keeping on our shelves. Here is Pagoda by AEG, Pegasus Spiel here. A nice little box. I think it's a good size box. But as we open it up, you'll see there's still, it could have been, it really could have been in this little space right here, maybe even less. You're going to get a nice little board, which is where you'll build things and keep score. It's okay. These will keep track of your powers. It's a little not intuitive because you don't go this way and then fall off and back. You actually put it over here and then come back, which is a little strange. These tiles are nice. I think they stack the colors. You can see very easy on the, if you're colorblind, you might have some issues here on these for sure. These little wooden things are fine. You've seen these in a ton of games. And the cards themselves are good quality, but once again, they do have different icons in the center, so that might help out some of you that are colorblind. And then for the player colors, you got like the nude color and light brown and dark brown. So these are kind of weird that you have these colors here. The tiles are good, like I said. I think they look fine. It has a little bit of a 3D effect to the game. The components are good, but they definitely are from this era of gaming. Here's your book, and you see it's in full color with a picture of the components on this page, set up with numbers corresponding so you can see what's going on here. That gives you a little bit of an overview of some general rules that you're going to need to know. Then you're going to dive right into the game. You can see the points scored here, how things are. You got full color pictures with examples, and the roof construction that you're going to have here, and then the special abilities, which will also be listed on these player aids with icons, so that you can easily see how those correspond. End of the game, and some miscellaneous things and scoring overview. You kind of wanted to leave this out. I think it works fine. I wish there would have been a little bit of scoring. This could have been a little bit bigger. Gets a little scoring on the bottom of here, but I think it's pretty easy to kind of figure out how it is. Probably need maybe 10-15 minutes to read through this, and you'll be good to go. So this will be the board we're going to be building everything. Each player is going to have 5 random cards face up and 2 cards in their hand. So on your turn, you can either play from your face-up cards or the ones in your hands. This gives some information to your opponents about what you could be planning for the future, but they don't have all of the information. So if I was to spin these 2 cards at the end of the turn, then I would replenish the ones in my hand. If I use, let's say, these 2 yellows, and I use the 2 cards in my hand, then I would replenish the 2 cards here first. Then I would add 2 cards in my hand to get back up to the total at the end of my turn. So your turns will be that you'll be playing cards and then replenishing your hand. So how do you play cards? So the most of these columns, which will be represented by wooden components that you will find right here, is you can build between 1 to 3. You must build 1 on a turn, can be up to 3. So let's say I want to build the red. I got these red cards here. I'm going to put 3 reds down, which is the most that I could play. And I can put them right there. I would get 1 point each because it's on the bottom floor. On the second floor, there were 2 points each, then 3 points each, and then 4 points each. But let's say on a subsequent turn, we are ready to build a little bit more here. So maybe we'll build, let's say the opponent builds one over here, and they're going to get a point for that. And then they want to build a room tile. So they'll put another one down here for the room tile, but you will place it sideways to signify that you're playing it for that. Then you look at whatever red tiles are still available, pick out whichever one you want. These are all open. And you will place it right on top here, scoring a point for that. But in addition, you're going to activate the red power. I'll come back to these in a second, but that's how you're going to get these powers, and you'll be able to activate it. So every time you get a power, you can use it twice, and then it's not usable again until you build another floor. Now, it is important to note that if you get all the way to the top will be a roof, and it only takes one of these. And if you put the one on here, it's worth 5 points. So now if I was building blue, let's say I had a couple blue cards, and I wanted to play the blue cards here, 2 of these. Now, instead of being worth 1 point apiece, because it's the second floor, I would be building 2 points each. I would get 4 points for that, which is tracked around here. And you could go anywhere on here. If I wanted to build over here, I could do that. And you can build 1 to 3 columns on a turn. As they get higher and higher, they're worth more and more points. And you'll be building the floors and eventually the roofs. Once you build the roof and have the column on top, then you can no longer build there. That will continue until the game ends. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points is the winner. The only little caveat to this is, once again, when you build the floors, you get the powers. This one allows you to have 4 cards in your hand instead of 2. So you draw up until you get decked down. This one allows you to discard cards and draw more. This will allow you to use 2 cards. So I could use, say, 2 blues to represent 1 red or 1 purple or whatever for columns. And then this one allows you to do it for roofs. And this one down here allows you to play 4 columns instead of 3. Normally you have a cap, you can only play 3 in a turn. With the red power, you can do 4. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner of the game. Who should buy this game is what I call a couples game or a spouse game. Something you're going to play with your spouse. You're going to have fun at the end of the night, maybe while the kids are going to bed. You want something quick to play, very easy, not too taxing because you've been at work all day. This would fit into that category for me. If you're looking for a lighter game about building these pagodas, maybe that theme speaks to you a little bit, the hand management and the powers. This game will surprise you a little bit by how good it is. It's actually better than it looks. And I think it plays out and gives you interesting decisions as you go through. So for us, it's definitely going to be a keeper.